The alien woman's request shocked me. "I want you to be my husband, just for tonight." The distress beacon came through on a dead channel. Not a frequency any human ship used, not a frequency any known species used either. Just a raw pulse of light-coded Morse, repeating on a loop, originating from the debris field between the third and fourth planets of the Karath system. A stretch of space that had been a war zone 6 months ago and a graveyard ever since. Lieutenant Cole Harrington was the only one awake on the relay station when it hit his board. He was 29, 2 years into a solo rotation on Outpost Delta 7, a monitoring platform roughly the size of a school bus, bolted to a rock no one had ever bothered to name. His job was to watch for salvageable tech, log traffic, and not go crazy from the silence. He was doing okay on the first 2. The beacon repeated. He ran it through 3 translation filters before the pattern resolved into something legible. Not a mayday, not a position marker, something older. A biological distress signal. The kind the Galactic Compact coded into escape pods for non-verbal transmission when the occupant was too injured to speak. Someone was alive in that debris field. Cole was not supposed to leave the station. His mission parameters were explicit. Observe, log, report. Do not engage. The Karath debris field was flagged as politically contested space, leftover from the collapse of the 9th Trade Coalition. And the last human who had wandered into contested salvage territory without clearance had spent 14 months in a compact arbitration cell. He plotted a course anyway. The shuttle was barely rated for open flight. It shuddered when he pushed past minimum thrust, and the life support recycler made a sound like a man coughing up gravel. Cole strapped in, logged the beacon coordinates, and told himself he was just going to look. The debris field was worse than the maps showed. Enormous slabs of hull plating drifted in slow, grinding orbits. He threaded through them carefully, running dark. No running lights, no active sensors, just passive sweep and the beacon pulling him forward like a thread. He found the pod wedged between 2 pieces of what had once been a coalition cruiser. It was not a human design. The outer shell was a deep iridescent blue, covered in geometric scoring that might have been decorative or might have been structural. He could not tell. It was roughly egg-shaped, twice the size of a standard escape capsule, and one side of it had been caved in by impact. The beacon pulsed from a node near the top, still broadcasting, still alive. Cole suited up, crossed the gap on a tether, cut the manual release on the pod's external panel because the electronic one was dead. The hatch opened with a sound like a held breath releasing. She was inside. He had met 3 alien species in his life. The Compact's Kreth delegates, who looked vaguely like tall reptiles in business suits. The Muwani, who were small and blue and communicated entirely through color shifts in their skin. And the Harak, once, at a diplomatic function, 7 feet tall, 6-limbed, and entirely uninterested in humans. This was none of those. She was humanoid in shape, 2 arms, 2 legs, a head. But the similarities ended there. Her skin was a pale silver gray, almost luminous, and her hair was white and floated around her head the way hair does in low gravity, though the pod had gravity plating. Her eyes, when they opened, were a deep amber with no visible pupil. Her hands had 4 fingers, each slightly too long. She was wearing a uniform he did not recognize. Dark green, high-collared, bearing insignia that matched none of his databases. She looked at him. She said something in a language his translator did not have. Then she looked at the caved-in wall of the pod, then back at him. Then she said, very carefully, in compact standard, accented but clear, You are human. Yes, Cole said. How many of you are here? Just me. She closed her eyes. Something moved across her face that looked like calculation. When she opened them again, her expression had locked into something controlled and deliberate. I need your help, she said. It is not a small thing I'm about to ask. Cole looked at the damaged pod, at the debris field pressing in around them, at the insignia on her uniform that his database could not place. Okay, he said. I need you to be my husband, she said, just for tonight. The silence that followed was the loudest thing Cole had heard in 2 years of deep space rotation. He opened his mouth, closed it. I am going to need some context, he said. She nodded, as if this was reasonable, as if she had expected exactly this response. My name is Ava, she said. I am the last surviving officer of the research vessel Ardennes. My ship was destroyed 6 hours ago. The people who destroyed it are currently scanning this debris field for survivors. If they find me alone, they will take me. If they find me with a husband, a claimed partner from a neutral species, compact law requires them to release me to his custody. Cole stared at her. You read compact law, he said. I wrote 3 amendments to it, she said. Before I was a field officer, I was a diplomatic architect. Compact Article 7, subsection 14, the Spousal Sanctuary Clause, was my work. I spent 11 years building that protection for exactly this kind of situation. Cole looked at the scanner on his wrist. Passive sweep was showing 2 contacts at the edge of the debris field, moving slowly, running full active sensors. They were looking for something. They were getting closer. How long do we have? He asked. 12 minutes, she said. Probably less. Cole looked at the scanner again, looked at her, looked at the 2 contacts closing on their position. All right, he said. What does a husband have to do? Ava's expression did not change. But something in her amber eyes shifted. The smallest possible exhale of relief, there and gone before he could be sure he had seen it. Stand next to me, she said, and do not let go of my hand. He helped her out of the pod. Her fingers, when they closed around his, were warm. The 2 ships on his scanner had already changed course. They were coming straight at them now. The first ship was a Hunter-class enforcement vessel registered to a faction called the Orcs Syndicate. Cole got that from the passive ID ping when it dropped its stealth field and went active. The Orcs were not in his briefing files. That was already bad. They were not in the Compact's diplomatic registry either. He pulled that from a quick database check while Eva stood beside him in the shuttle's narrow airlock, her hand still in his, her posture absolutely still. The kind of still that takes practice. The kind that means the person has spent time in rooms where showing fear gets you killed. The comms crackled. Unidentified human vessel. The voice was translated by the ship's standard relay, so it came through flat and without effect. But something in its cadence was designed to land like a boot on a chest. You are in contested salvage space. Power down and prepare to be boarded. Cole looked at Eva. She gave the smallest nod. He opened the channel. This is Outpost Delta 7 Relay Shuttle, operating under Compact Civilian Code 44 Alpha. He said, I am a registered neutral party, and this vessel is Compact flagged. Boarding without cause is a treaty violation. A pause. We are searching for a fugitive, the voice said. A research officer who fled Compact jurisdiction. If you are harboring her, you are in violation of syndicate recovery law. Syndicate recovery law, Cole said, keeping his voice even, does not supersede Compact Article 7. Another pause. Longer this time. Article 7, the voice said, applies to bonded partners. Are you claiming that status? Ava squeezed his hand once. A cue. I am, Cole said. She's my wife, and I'd like to go home. The channel went quiet for 11 seconds. Cole counted them. Ava did not move. We will require verification, the voice said. Transmit compact bonding record. Cole looked at Ava. This was the part he had not asked about. This was the part where the whole thing either held or collapsed. Ava reached into the pocket of her uniform and pulled out a small flat chip the size of a thumbnail. She handed it to Cole without looking at him. He slotted it into the comms panel's data port. The system read it, processed it, transmitted. It's another pause. This one longer than the last. Long enough for Cole to count his own heartbeat and find it faster than he would have liked. The record shows a bonding filed 3 years ago, the voice said. The human listed is a Lieutenant Cole Harrington, Outpost Delta 7. Cole's brain performed a rapid and disorienting recalculation. 3 years ago. His name. She had filed this 3 years ago. She had planned for this. Not this specific moment, not this debris field and this damaged pod and this particular enforcer on the other end of the channel. But she had planned for a moment like it. She had built the clause. She had named him in the filing. She had carried the chip. He did not let his face move. That's right, he said. The record appears in order, the voice said. And now the affect was different, flatter, more careful. The sound of someone who had been handed a problem they did not want. Here we are transmitting a formal protest to the compact registry. You are free to go. The channel closed. The 2 ships held position for another 40 seconds. Cole counted those 2. And then they turned and moved back toward the edge of the debris field. He let out a breath. Ava released his hand. He turned to look at her. She was already watching him. Her amber eyes had that same locked-down quality as before, but the calculation in them was different now. Not planning. Something else. Something harder to name. You filed that 3 years ago, he said. Yes. With my name? Yes. How did you know my name 3 years ago? I did not, she said. The filing requires a named partner to be legally complete. I chose a name at random from the compact personnel registry. A human male in a remote posting, low profile, unlikely to ever cross into compact diplomatic space, and therefore unlikely to ever encounter the filing. Cole thought about this. Unlikely, he said. Statistically speaking, she said. And yet, she agreed. The debris field drifted around them, slow and grinding and indifferent. So I have been your husband for 3 years, Cole said, on paper. And I had no idea. No. And the whole clause of the spousal sanctuary protection, you built it. You put it in compact law. Yes. For moments like this. For moments like this, she said. I have worked in contested space for 14 years, and I have watched people get taken because there was no protection for them. I built the protection. I have never needed to use it until today. Cole looked at the scanner. Clean. The Taurex ships were gone. Your ship, he said. The Ardennes. What happened to it? Something moved across her face then. Fast and not fully controlled, and raw in a way that her careful stillness had not been. There and gone. Everyone else, she said. Like they did not make it to the pods. She did not say anything else. Cole did not ask. He set a course back toward Outpost Delta 7. The silence between them was not comfortable. It was not uncomfortable either. It was the kind of silence that sits between two people who have just done something significant together and are not yet sure what to do with the fact of it. "You can file for dissolution when we reach a compact relay," she said after a while. "It is a simple process, and I will handle the paperwork." "Okay," Cole said. "I am sorry for the complication," she said. "You were going to get taken." "Yes." "So it's not really a complication," he said. She looked at him. He kept his eyes on the nav panel. The recycler coughed. The shuttle shuddered past a piece of drifting hull plating. The stars outside the viewport were very old and very far away, and completely unconcerned with any of this. "Thank you," Ava said. "Don't mention it," Cole said. He meant it as something small. A deflection. The kind of thing you say to close a moment before it gets too heavy. She looked at him like it was not small at all. Like it was the only thing anyone had said to her in a very long time that landed like it was meant. He did not know what to do with that. So he checked the nav panel again. Delta 7 was 4 hours out. 4 hours was a long time. And he was realizing, in the slow and somewhat alarming way that realizations tend to arrive, that he had approximately 400 questions and no good reason not to ask them. "So," he said, "the Ardennes. What were you researching?" Ava was quiet for a moment. Then, for the first time, the locked-down precision of her expression cracked open just slightly at one corner. Not quite a smile, not quite not one either. "That," she said, "is a very long story." "I have 4 hours," Cole said. "So you do," she said, and she began. Kotas, what Eva told him over those 4 hours rewired the way Cole understood the last 6 months of the Karath system. She spoke carefully. Not evasively. She was not a person who used words to hide. But with the precision of someone who had spent years knowing that information had weight and deployed it accordingly. She told him about the Ardennes, a compact-funded research vessel operating under civilian designation to avoid drawing military attention. She told him they had been mapping signal anomalies in the Karath debris field, the kind that did not come from ships or weapons or any known tech, but from something underneath the debris. Something older, something that had been broadcasting on a very narrow band, for what her team estimated was between 400 and 600 years. Cole's hands went still on the nav panel. "Broadcasting what?" he said. "Coordinates," she said. "A repeating sequence. The same set of numbers, over and over. We cross-reference them against every stellar map in the compact database. The coordinates do not match any system in charted space." "Uncharted space," Cole said. "Beyond the outer boundary," she said. "By a significant margin." He looked at her. "And the Torek," he said. "They knew about this." "They found out," she said. "We do not know how. But 3 days ago they began following the Ardennes. We tried to lose them in the debris field." She paused. "We did not." The way she said the last 4 words. Flat, stripped down, he did not press. "The source of the signal," Cole said. "Did you find it?" "Yes," she said. "And?" "It is a structure," she said. "Buried under approximately 40 meters of debris and compacted hull material on the largest fragment in the field. It is not a ship. It is not a weapon. It is approximately 300 meters in diameter, and it is built from a material our scanners could not classify. It has no visible entry points. It has no identifiable power source, and the signal is coming from inside it." Cole absorbed this. "And you have the location," he said. "I have the location," she said. "And the Taurek want the location." "The Taurek want whatever is inside," she said. "The location is just the first step." Cole looked at the nav panel. Delta 7 was 3 hours out now. Close enough to feel like a destination. Close enough to feel like a choice point. "What were you going to do with it?" he asked, before everything went wrong. "Report to the Compact Council," she said. "Formally disclose the find. Trigger the first contact protocol. Ensure that whatever is in that structure was approached through the right process. With scientists, not salvagers. With diplomats, not enforcement squads." And now? She was quiet for a moment. "Now I am the only one who knows where it is," she said. The recycler made its gravel cough sound when the hull creaked past a thermal differential. Cole thought about his mission parameters. Observe, log, report. Do not engage. He had already blown past 2 of those. "If you report to the Compact Council from Delta 7, he said, "how long before they respond?" "Compact bureaucracy moves slowly," she said. "Weeks at best, months more likely. And the Taurek will be back in that debris field within hours." "Yes." "So, by the time the Compact responds," Cole said, "whatever's in that structure is gone," she said, "or opened by people who will not care what's inside it. Only what they can sell it for." The nav panel blinked. 3 hours to Delta 7. 4 hours back to the Karath debris field. He did not look at the nav panel again for a long time. "How big is your signal source data?" he asked. "The coordinates, the maps, all of it." "Everything is stored on my personal drive," she said, touching her uniform pocket, the same one that had held the bonding chip. "It survived the pod impact." "And you trust the Compact Council," Cole said, "when you get to them." "I trust the process," she said. "I built parts of it. I believe in what it is supposed to do." "But the Council itself?" A pause. "There are people on the Council who have syndicate ties," she said carefully. "I have suspected this for a long time. I have no proof." "So there's a chance," Cole said, "that if you report through official channels, the information gets buried." "There is a chance," she said. "Or redirected." "Yes." He was quiet. She was quiet. The stars outside the viewport did not offer any opinions. "There is a compact deep field research base," Cole said, "at Station Echo 9. It is off the main transit routes. It is staffed by independent scientists, none of them council appointed. I have met the director. Her name is Dr. Carol Fenn. She is the most rigidly ethical person I have ever encountered in a professional context. She once filed a formal complaint against her own department head for rounding a figure in a grant application." Ava looked at him. "She sounds formidable," she said. "She's terrifying," Cole said, "but she would not bury this. And she would know exactly how to put it in front of the right people without going through the Council's main channels." "Echo 9, Ava said. "Son, that is a 7-hour deviation from your current course." "Yes," Cole said. "Your mission parameters." "I already flew into contested salvage space and claimed to be married to an alien diplomat," Cole said. "I think the parameters are already somewhat theoretical at this point." Something moved across Eva's face again. This time he caught it more clearly. It was not quite that near smile from before. It was something quieter, and something that had been compressed for a long time and was taking up slightly too much space now. "You do not have to do this," she said. "No," Cole said. He adjusted the nav panel. Delta 7's course marker faded. Echo 9's coordinates loaded. I know, he said. The shuttle banked. The stars shifted. And somewhere behind them, buried under 40 meters of wreckage, something 400 years old kept sending its message into the dark. The same coordinates, over and over, impatient as geology, waiting for whoever was listening to finally decide to come. Echo 9 Station did not look like much from the outside. It was a cluster of interlocked habitat rings bolted to a cold asteroid at the outer edge of the compact's mapped territory. No defensive plating, no weapon mounts, just science equipment and solar arrays and the faint blue glow of active lab modules visible through the viewport as Cole brought the shuttle in on approach. The docking controller who cleared them through sounded annoyed to be awake. Dr. Carol Fenn met them at the airlock. She was 61, compact in the way that people who work in cold habitats for decades become compact. Economical movement, nothing wasted. A face that had stopped performing patients sometime in her 40s. She looked at Cole. She looked at Eva. She looked at the state of both of them, the emergency suit, the singed edge of Eva's uniform, and the general atmosphere of a situation that had been improvised at high speed. Lieutenant Harrington, she said, your station rotation doesn't end for 4 months. I have a situation, Dr. Fenn, Cole said. I can see that, she said. She looked at Ava. Who is this? Ava said. Formerly Senior Research Officer, Compact Vessel Ardennes. Something shifted in Fenn's expression. Not surprise. Something more like the look a person gets when a theory they have been quietly holding gets confirmed. The Ardennes was listed as overdue 3 days ago, Fenn said. The Ardennes is gone, Ava said. Fenn held her gaze for a long moment. Come inside, she said. They sat in Fenn's small office. 3 chairs and a desk covered in data tablets and a cold cup of something that had once been coffee. Ava laid out everything. The signal source, the structure, the coordinates, the TOREC, the Council's potential compromise. She spoke for 40 minutes without stopping, without repeating herself, without softening anything. Fenn listened without interrupting. When Eva finished, Fenn looked at the coordinates on the drive Eva had set on her desk. 400 years, Fenn said. Minimum, Eva said. Possibly older. The signal modulation is unlike anything in the Compact's catalog of known species tech. Pre-compact, Fenn said. He's pre-contact era. Yes. Fenn picked up the drive, turned it over in her hand. If I move on this, she said, I am going around the Council. That has consequences for my funding, for my station. I know, Ava said. And I cannot move quietly, Fenn said. Whatever is in that structure. Once I file the disclosure, it goes public. There is no way to control what happens after that. I know, Ava said. I do not want it controlled. I want it protected. Those are different things. Fenn looked at her, then at Cole. You flew her here, Fenn said. Yes, Cole said. Why? Cole thought about this, about the debris field and the distress beacon and the mission parameters he had already left 3 counties behind. Because she was right, he said. And someone needed to make sure she got to the right person. Fenn turned the drive over again, then set it down. I have a secure channel to 3 independent compact oversight representatives, she said. People I trust. I will contact all 3 tonight. I will file a formal protected disclosure under a Compact Science Charter Article 22. That puts the find under scientific jurisdiction, not military, not council. It means the TOREC cannot legally touch it once the filing goes through. How long for the filing to register? Cole asked. 6 hours, Fenn said. The Torek can contest it. The contest process takes 3 months. During those 3 months, the site is legally frozen. Iva looked at her. "And you are willing to do this," Eva said, "knowing what it costs you." "I spent 40 years in independent research," Fenn said, "specifically because I do not trust what happens when discovery gets filtered through people with financial interests in the result." She looked at the drive again. "Something 400 years old has been waiting in the dark to be found. And I am not going to be the person who let the wrong people get there first because I was worried about my funding." She stood up, picked up the drive. "I will need the night," she said. "You can have the 2 guest quarters at the end of Corridor 7. Get some sleep." She walked out of the office. Cole looked at Ava. Ava looked at the empty desk where the drive had been. "She is exactly as terrifying as you said," Ava said. "Yes," Cole said. They walked to Corridor 7 without talking much. The station hummed around them, machinery and air processors, and the faint vibration of a place that was quietly, constantly working. At the door of the first guest room, Iva stopped. "I have been thinking," she said, "about what I owe you." "You don't owe me anything," Cole said. "I filed a bonding record under your name without your knowledge," she said. "I placed you in a legally complicated position without your consent. Those are not small things." "You were trying to survive," Cole said. "Yes," she said, "and you chose to help me. Those are also not small things." He was quiet. She looked at him with those amber eyes, and for once the calculation in them was gone. There was just a person who had lost their entire crew 6 hours ago and had not yet let herself stop moving long enough to feel it. "I'm going to file the dissolution paperwork when we reach a relay," she said. "I promised you that." "Okay," Cole said. "Unless," she said, and stopped. He waited. She looked at the wall and then back at him. Something in her expression was careful in a different way than it had been before. Not controlled, just careful. The way you are careful with something you are not sure you should say. "Unless you did not want me to," she said. The station hummed. Cole looked at her. "We have been married for 3 years," he said. "On paper," she said. "I think," he said. That is probably a conversation for after you've slept." She looked at him for a long moment. "Yes," she said. "Probably." She went into the room. The door closed. Cole stood in the corridor for a moment, listening to the station hum. Somewhere, buried under 40 meters of wreckage in a debris field, something old kept broadcasting its coordinates into the dark. And somewhere in the compact's filing system, a 3-year-old bonding record with his name on it sat in a database, waiting to see what would happen next. He went to his room. He did not sleep for a long time. But he realized, for the first time in 2 years of deep space silence, completely and fully awake.